Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, February 24th, 2022. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Oswald Robinson, whose smile was a bit brighter today, retained his leadership position for a second term of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union. In the general elections held over a two-day period, Robinson received 505 votes, while his opponent, Nikisha Williams, accumulated 305. Robinson told SVGTV News the victory is not about him, but for all teachers and to promote quality education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
In the election,
as I said, the win is for the teachers. It is for those who have lost their job. It is for the parents and teachers who want to see quality education. We want to get back the teachers in the system. It is for keeping sure that the teachers union remain on track focus as a professional organization. Because as I was speaking about teacher welfare, we have improved our death benefit. Then we have a critical illness plan, and we have agreed also to improve it.
Vanrick Williams, who Robinson said he was keeping under his wings to become the next president of the union, lost the first vice president position to Nicole Martindale by 37 votes. Robinson congratulated all the new members on the executive, noting that their inputs are going to be valuable to the union.
It meant that they're coming with a level of commitment to serve the teachers union. So I am looking forward to work with them. I'm going to work with everybody at their own level. And I believe, I'm very optimistic that we are going to even redouble our efforts in going forward. Okay. I am going to value the input of every single member of the executive, whether young or old or middle-aged. You have to hear from each post what you bring, and then we select the best ideas in going forward.
Robinson said top on the list of his plans going forward as president of the SVGTU is to get all teachers who are affected by the government's vaccination policy reinstated with full benefits.
But from my vantage point as the president, and based on what I have put on the platform for this biennium coming up, there are certain things I would like to achieve. And I've already started to have conversation with members of the executive on these things. For example, our priority is the reinstatement of our teachers who have lost their job. That's number one. That's critical. We must give priority for that. Because if you have over 160 members who are out of a job, that is something you can turn a blind eye to. So this is a continuation of what we have started. We're already in the court, and we're awaiting a ruling from the judge.
Nikisha Williams, who went up against Robinson for the leadership position of the SVG-TU, told SVG-TV News in a telephone interview today that despite her loss, she will continue to stand for all teachers.
well, the people have spoken. Teachers have spoken. It's obvious that they want Mr. Robinson to continue to lead. My mind has always been for teachers. I have always championed the cause of teachers, and that is not going to change. Our union needs strong voices. I'm sometimes a little bit worried if they're afraid of a woman's voice, but it is what it is. But yes, I will continue to bring to light the number of issues that are facing teachers currently. I will continue to speak loud about our collective bargaining agreement, pension reform, things like solidarity for teachers, teachers terminated because of the vaccine mandates, and a number of other issues. An election doesn't say that I am going to, or I have to stop doing that, because it's not about leading the union, so to speak. I mean, obviously, it has its advantages. However, my concern is about the well-being of our teaching fraternity.
While expressing thanks, Williams encouraged her supporters not to be disheartened, noting that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done.
I would like to thank all those persons who would have supported me during this election period. I know that there are a number of persons who are very much disheartened that the plans that I have made known would not be put in place, but we have work to do. Let me encourage you now. We have work to do. Our union is in a dire state and needs rebuilding, but we cannot rebuild if we're out of it. Stay in. Let's get the job done. Let's work together. I mean, there is only unity in union. We have to be in it together.
Cabinet has approved the purchase of 2 new school buses to transport children to school. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works, Montgomery Daniel, on radio this week acknowledged that the fleet of school buses in the government system is aging and that they are also looking into adding more to the fleet within the next year.
At Cabinet today, of course, there will be a document to have the approval of Cabinet for the purchase of 2 new buses to put into the fleet of the school buses of the government.
Daniel said the ministry has received numerous reports on the misuse of government-owned school buses and that they would no longer be accepting poor excuses for the misuse.
We should be seeing 2 new school buses very soon within the fleet. And of course, next year, I'm hoping to have another 4 buses added to the fleet.
Minister Daniel said the police have also been asked to step in and assist the ministry in identifying and controlling the mismanagement of school buses, which are property of the government.
Where we have asked the police to assist us in this regard, where if a school bus is found on the streets of St. Vincent and the Grenadines during the weekend, without the approval of the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Works, that the bus must be taken away and be kept in safekeeping while you get in touch with the PS, the permanent secretary, as to the number of the bus, the driver, the location, and we proceed to have other actions done.
Rehabilitation work on bathroom facilities at 21 schools on mainland St. Vincent has commenced. The project is undertaken by the Japan government through the International Organization for Migration, the IOM, to the tune of 670,000 EC dollars. 28 toilets are to be installed at schools enlisted to be repaired primarily in the red and orange zones of La Soufrière volcano and those used as emergency shelters in Kingston following the eruption of the volcano in April 2021. The schools identified to receive new bathroom facilities are noted to be in dire need of repairs. The Roads, Buildings and General Services Authority, BRAXA, has been contracted to carry out the work, which has begun at several secondary schools in North Leeward and North Windward on mainland St. Vincent. On the Windward end, major works have commenced at the Georgetown Secondary School, North Union Secondary and Greg's Primary School. Attracting major upgrades on the Leeward end is the Pittipadell Secondary School. On January 19, 2022, during his 3-day visit, Ambassador to CARICOM, Japan's Ambassador to CARICOM, Tasu Hirayama, visited one of the larger primary schools in Kingston, the C.W. Prescott Primary, where 36 toilets will be replaced. The ambassador had said he is hopeful that the repair bathroom facilities will enable a hygienic environment for students and teachers. The repairs and installation of the washroom facilities are expected to be done mainly on the weekends so as to not disturb classes. The project is expected to be completed by April 2022. We fed up of the virtual thing. This from reigning soca monarch Darren Magical Ross, who said he is ready for the return of Vincy Mas. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Ross said that the Carnival Development Corporation, the CDC, is making the right move to host Carnival this year, and he hopes it can be held in the traditional format. We hear more in this report.
We don't like the virtual thing, fed up on the virtual thing. We can't take no virtual thing. No.
The young artist, who was only 21 when dethroned the veteran Delroy Fireman Hooper to be crowned Soca Monarch in 2019, said that he is now more experienced and 10 times better. Vincy Mas 2019 was a good year for Darren Magical Rose, who said "Sound Bloody Hell Crazy" took the second position in the road march competition. Rose said that he is currently in Toronto, Canada for entertainment purposes, and that with the absence of Vincy Mas for 2 years, he has been practicing and educating himself on producing cleaner and better music.
I'm 10 times better than 2019. As I said already, my only competition is me. 2019, I get you without a brief understanding. But now, I understand things differently. So it's a whole complete different person you're speaking to. When you see me back on stage, my performance, my presentation, everything is going to be totally different, like totally different for the future.
Rose, who identified some of his weaknesses in 2019, said he is at a better position to win the Soca and Rugga Soca Monarch this year once they are held.
2020, I want to release my first song after Bloody Hell was 2020. My second song, I can't recall, I think it's Team Up, and that was it for 2020. And I also wrote the song Virus for Tanjay. I wrote that song and gave him, and that was it for 2020. But 2021, I started the year with a song called System, which did well, and then I came with Problem, which bombed up the whole place.
Rose said while the last 2 years as Soca Monarch were productive, he had many challenges.
Challenges must come, due to the fact we did not have a carnival, the income it get a little bit slow. We have responsibilities, bills and stuff like these things to pay. We still have to do music. We still have to pay for the production and everything like that. Not because COVID is like the producers or the engineers are going to say, okay, we're gonna do it for free.
The island's vaccination rate is a major requirement for Vincy Mas to be held this year and in its traditional format. While Rose is fully vaccinated, he said that he is in no position to encourage persons to get vaccinated, as it should be a personal choice.
I could only speak for me. In certain case, I never did like a degree in medical or nothing, so I can't tell people. Like, I don't want to encourage nobody to take the vaccine, and I don't want to tell nobody don't take the vaccine. I think there's a personal opinion.
Magical is holding out hope that Vincy Mas can be held this year, even after Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said on radio this week that it is still not a guarantee. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Nashika Davis Hope.
This month is being celebrated as Black History Month globally. In an interview with SVG-TV News local historian Dr. Adrian Fraser said while the celebration here was low-keyed, he is encouraging all Vincentians to get to know the significance of Black History Month.
That they must make themselves aware during Black History Month, follow what is going on, not only in St. Vincent, but elsewhere. And everybody has access now, not only to social media, but there's a lot of information on TV, so that you understand that we are not alone. We are part of a group of people who originally were captured in Africa and sent out to the colonies, and we helped to build the country. Now, some years ago, the Guyanese Walter Rodney had written a book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, showing the kind of impact that the slave trade and colonialism had on Africa. And I noticed one of our own historians, Hilary Beckles, who has been the force behind calling for reparations for people, not only for the indigenous people, for blacks.
Dr. Fraser said there are a number of prominent people locally who have made an impact on the country, and their work needs to be highlighted to be known by everyone, especially the younger generation.
Numbers, we are a majority in the country, as in the case of the United States it is not. So it is in that sense very important. But one of the reasons why I would agree more than ever to celebrate in Black History Month is that very little history, meaningful history is taught in our schools, even about ourselves. And therefore, to single out a month when there's a lot of emphasis on that is going to be important. So even though I have that reluctance because I'm saying that every day is Black History Day to us, you know, but still I admit that we all, black people, came from the same, as the song said, they came on the same boat. So it is important for us to know the struggles of those other people and to compare our struggles with theirs. And as I said, added to that, that people from St. Vincent, from the Caribbean, have played an important role in what is going on. Marcus Garvey had a strong movement in St. Vincent.
Dr. Fraser is also of the view that more should be done in February, Black History Month, to make the people more aware of who they are as a people.
But I think it is something every year we should try and inform ourselves about, because you hear a lot of information and it is amazing. Some of the things we take for granted, some of the facilities we have. You would read that, you know, this thing actually was invented by a black person, and it takes us by surprise because we never associate black people with these kinds of skills. As far as we are concerned, everything came from whites. But as black history becomes very important, particularly in the United States, and people doing research, we're able to discover a lot of information, which is of importance. Because it is of importance too, because even though it's in the United States, the fact that somebody who is black has done it means a lot to you. So from that point of view, it is important that people keep informed.